picture surgery, you might think of a surgeon in scrubs or nurses, medical assistants, but there is a vital member of the transplant team at Intermountain Hospital you've never met. As news specialist Heather Simonsen explains in our Insight report, he's making all the difference.
It's not a painful surgery.
Like clockwork, every Thursday, 75-year-old George Gates is here at the hospital.
A positive attitude is really what you have to have.
Helping patients like Sylvia Eyre, who just got a devastating diagnosis.
You know, you hear the word cancer, and then you think, well, I don't have much left.
She has liver cancer and needs a transplant, something George knows all about.
I want to be your cheerleader.
George had his liver transplant 17 years ago when it was much harder.
Then to see that many years, it's just wonderful.
The way you honor your donor is that you do everything you possibly can to make this a successful transplant. Come on, Suze, over here.
A volunteer eased his anxiety back then, so he pays it forward, believing a big part of getting through it is mental.
To be successful, 10% medication, 90% attitude.
George has been volunteering for 16 years, and doctors on the transplant team say his work is essential.
And then he can show them and direct them to a reality that you can be normal after a transplant, that you can be returned to a full life.
George offers a prescription of hope.
My dad just celebrated his 90th birthday, so I'm thinking, wow, I'm thinking I'm going to be 90. Too.
From someone who's been there.
That's what I need, is positive.
You need positive.
Still, George doesn't see what he does as any big deal.
I get so much more out of being a volunteer than I ever give.
But for patients, he's a lifeline.
If they've gone through it, I can go through it.
That's my thanks. My thanks is seeing these people get their transplant and become active members of society again.
So George will keep volunteering, showing there's life and joy after a liver transplant. Heather Simonsen, KSL 5 News.
Heather, thank you. Last year, doctors at Intermountain Hospital did 37 liver transplants. Their one-year survival rate is one of the highest in the region at 95%. And by George is helping the cause. Deanie. An open water